When I came out the day after, I was not rated. It's safe to say that I was really tired. I just woke up after a few hours of sleep. Heli was already out, and there were no crates in water treatment or in airfield or at the top of dome. And there was only one player online this morning, a player I had seen before online since early yesterday. His name was Spry Scorpion 379. Maybe this was the guy who was living in Q20, or maybe even in G16. I was not sure, because I hadn't been seeing any players around the area besides my Swedish friends. And then the thief from Outpost I killed in airfield yesterday. Anyway, I took Heli down since it was out already. I was not paying attention on where I had put on my scope on which guns, and I was running low on ammo, and I hadn't depoted my stuff in my inventory with the stuff from yesterday. Plus, I just only woke up. I was a bit groggy about the whole situation. What you will see from here on out will change our vibe story completely. As I said, it was early in the morning and only me and this guy, Spry Scorpion 379, let's just call him Scorpion for short, shall we? We were the only ones online. Since the server is low pop, I wasn't thinking of getting countered at any point, but then this happened. Oops. Okay. Fine. Got encountered. Come on, fast. Fast. I rushed up to get to my nearest sniper, but I didn't have a scope on it. Bear in mind that I just have been waking up and I didn't pay any attention. No scope in the rifle. God damn it. I tried to shoot him, but I failed. This just goes to prove how bad it is if you don't sort your boxes. I had rushed so much in the game, and it occurred to me more and more just how important it is to have your boxes sorted, so you don't have to look in every single box for specific stuff like weapons, clothing and meds, and goddammit, I should have made lockers. Scorpio wrote me in chat that he only took my heli, and I responded well played and a smiley face. To be honest, I would have done the same thing as him if he had taken a heli down. Because it's always fun to fight for the loot. In hindsight, I should of course have stayed on my roof and scouted with my sniper rifle, but I didn't expect just one player to come and counter me since he was the only one on. That's why I took my mini heli out there, and even though it was just next to my base, I quickly ran out to get my stuff at the attack heli. I brought with me also a jackhammer since there were one last box stuck there. And to my surprise, the guy Scorpion, he had been looting my stuff. The only thing he didn't take was my clothes and then the LR300, which he couldn't reach because of the attack heli. My first thought was, why would he lie about this? Congrats to him for winning that little fight we had and for getting my mini heli. But why would he lie and say he only took my mini heli? Look, I know it was only 2 MLRS rockets, that was the only thing really worth from the heli loot. He didn't get the crate with the ammo and explosive ammo in it. But losing another mini heli, and this time it was not because of a crash or another player flying into me. This heli had been stolen, and by a guy who was even lying to me. But finally now, for the sake of our story, I got myself a real enemy. And an enemy that was even lying. When he could just have been honest. It was not a major setback at any point, but my plan on online raiding Campfire would have to wait, because now I had a purpose on getting back at Scorpion. I went back to Bandit Camp and bought my 6th mini heli this wipe. It was again 750 scrap out of the window. I found an airdrop along the way. It's not important for our story, but just so you know that I found one, in case you wonder why I had the stuff on me. I went over to Q20, but the base hadn't been expanded or changed in any way since I looked at it yesterday. So I could scratch that one out of the way. I went over to the lake base at G16, and just as expected, there was my mini heli, and along with Scorpion next to it. My heart was pumping. We started to battle a little bit, and I won. I wish I had ladders on me to get up there and more syringes so I could have played more aggressive. All I wanted right now was to get my mini heli back, just here and now. As I looked up at his dead body, it was still there. But for 2 seconds when I was sneaking around, I looked away and he had looted his body. Okay, now I had to get back to my base and make a plan. He sprayed at me when I was flying away, but he didn't hit me. Okay, if he wanted a war, I will give him a war. On my way back home, I saw that the small base between his base and mine in J14 had been raided. Back home, I rushed to make a sleeping bag, along with some meds, guns, ammo, and unfortunately, I forgot ladders. Remember, this was really early in the morning. I've had like 3-4 hours of sleep for the last few nights, and I had been working for many hours since Friday. I flew over not far from his base with my mini heli, and I stashed my loot next to my sleeping bag. I then ran up against the direction of his base, and there I saw him again. I got him, clean headshot with my L69. The funny thing here was that he was also trying to do the same thing now with me. He had also a sleeping bag and a stash, but he didn't have extra gun or anything. I looked around for a sec and I couldn't find his gun. I thought for sure it had fell down the hill. I had taken him out just south of his base, and then he texted me this: "Now you're door camping me forever?" I responded no. At this point, he just started to accuse me of door camping. I would like, of course, to have my heli back and some of my loot if possible. I wouldn't fight him anymore if he would just be honest with me. I asked him why he was lying, and he responded, "Me? Lol." He had been lying, and I know it's not a big thing to lie about, but now he was just pissing me off by accusing me of door camping and that he didn't steal it from me. Well, I explained that I had it on video, and he just continued in chat writing nonsense. So when he came out, I shot him. Fine, if he was lying to me, I'll lie to him and door camp him. Now he would get a taste of his own medicine. He still kept saying in chat that he didn't lie. He took my heli loot and my mini heli, and he kept denying that. Why would he? Come on, just be honest. I even wrote in chat that he took everything except my clothes and my gun because he couldn't reach the gun under the heli at that point before I jackhammered it. After around 20 seconds where he didn't respond, he finally responded, "I don't take gun." Just like I had been writing him. Okay, clearly this was not the brightest guy, and to be honest, he was starting to piss me more off. His spelling was terrible in chat, and I can live with that people are not very good in writing English. However, he continued to deny what he has done. Even with the mini heli, he also started to deny that. Then he came running up to me, screaming. Well, this wouldn't help his situation one bit. It frankly just pissed me even more off, wasting my time with this weird guy. I was about to text this guy why he would come up and scream like that. Maybe he didn't get enough attention at home, but nah, that would be too harsh. And I wanted this guy to feel good on this wipe. But again, he continued to write nonsense. You guys can make of this what you want. I didn't understand anything of it. But here's the fun part. I made him come out so we could talk. Here's what happened. So you wanna talk or not?
Hello?
Yeah, hello. First he threw a rock at me saying,
If you want.
what a weirdo. And then he tried to explain himself.
I still hear your... I don't take the crate. I loot only your body.
Yeah.
I take 2 medikits and 4 missile. And I take heli and I go.
Yeah.
I don't take the crate.
But then I wanted him to explain himself a bit more. There's a base down there that's decaying that was kind of full armored or metal. Did you offline raid it? It's not my base at all.
No, I see yesterday night was raided. It's the base of Claudic.
I explained to him that the crates I looted was in my inventory on my body. He didn't seem to understand it. Anyone would, right? That once you loot stuff from crates, it goes in your inventory. This guy, he was trying to play me in a really weird way. He also said that he would not take my second heli, which I had just bought. Then I asked him about the base in between us, in J14. He told me who had the base and that he didn't raid it. He had just seen a guy coming out from it, and he was called
Claudic.
And then that he had killed the raider there, so apparently a counter raid? That was a lie too. You see, I went into Battle Matrix at the same time and saw that the only ones who were online at that point, that was a guy called Glue Keys and this guy Scorpion. So again he was lying. Oh my god, this guy Scorpion. When I mentioned the name Glue Keys and even spelled it for him, Scorpion admitted that it was the name of the guy in the base. And still, he denied that he was the one raiding him. But he had.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
After we chatted a bit and still he was just talking nonsense, I said goodbye and went for my heli. But then he followed me and tried to steal it. I didn't have video of it, but he went for it and I killed him. After that, like everyone could imagine, the only one I decided to raid for today was Scorpion. I had been riding a little bit with the Swedish guys in between if Campfire would come online, but they were not sure. Apparently the poor kid was still devastated about the 50 bucks he has used on skin cases. That just goes to prove again why spend your money on stupid stuff like skins. It's not making your weapons or anything better, it's just colors, guys. And it's a money machine for the community that makes it, not for you.
Alrighty then.
Anyway, if Campfire decided to come back and I should online raid him, I knew that Scorpion would come and counter raid, and I would not have that, that's for sure. But since Scorpion was a duo and his friend was coming online as well, I knew I couldn't just fight them both with me being bad at PvP. So holding an online raid against two other duos, that would be a hard thing to do. So I had to make a plan. For a moment I was actually planning on texting to the Swedish guys if they could help me out. But then again, I'm a solo, so why not just show you guys that even though you are bad at PvP and a solo, you can still win over a duo. So let's get working, shall we? Since I was only a solo, my plan was to put some bags down around his area and make at least 2 raid bases or defend bases if you will, on the lake next to his base. I was shaking and being very nervous because this could backfire real easy. I did the best job I could with the first raid base. So far so good. Maybe we'll make 3 raid bases. There we go. You had this as an extra. Don't even have shots whips. Okay, this was a terrible planning and timing. come on. Well, I didn't even fully upgrade it. Don't ask me why. I went back to the other raid base, the first one, to get more wood. But it was not necessary with wood. I had already made the twig. All I had to do was upgrade the last floor and the ceiling to either metal or armored, since I already had that on me. I think my plan changed here because I wanted to make foundations outside facing his base with turrets and just having a small generator with low grade fuel running them. But I was not fast enough with my plan. Scorpion had come out and started shooting at me. I didn't know what I was going to do, so I just put my stuff into the large box and killed myself. I wanted to stay in the area to quickly get back and upgrade the second raid base that I have forgot to fully upgrade, so I spawned in a bag that I made earlier nearby. Sadly, I couldn't get the loot there. I was very confused. I couldn't get it. I thought for a moment that it was actually Scorpio who had found it, but likely it wasn't. I went back there, he shot me, and again, I don't know why, I took the stuff out of my TC and I tried to run. He killed me though, or actually I died of cold. On my way back, I had brought with me one more kit and some guns to put in the raid bases, but the closer I got, I started hearing rockets go off. He's trying to raid in. He had raided into my 2x2. He had not picked up my stuff yet from the hill, from my dead body on the top of the hill though. When I was trying to sneak around, we could both hear each other, him inside the base and me outside. This was intense. I managed to run into my 2x2 and saw that he had already placed a new TC in there. I didn't have any explosives on me or anything really to take the TC really fast. Scorpion was on his roof, scouting over his area and at me. He tried to kill me, but he failed. Again, I wished I had brought ladders with me so I could at least go to his roof and take his stuff. He came out once again, tried to loot his body. I downed him, but he managed to crawl away from my side. He actually crawled down into a ladder hatch. I tried to expand my little 1x2 a little so I could get the turrets ready and set up, but at the same time I had still to destroy the TC in the 2x2. I had bullets on me, so I just started blasting away. Good, now the base was mine again. I made an extra door for an airlock at the entrance, but I could hear him outside, so I had to be careful getting out. I went outside and quickly he got me with an LR 300. Ouchie, did you just triple headshot me? I had rushed out a bit fast the second time and I didn't even put on my kit and he quickly finished me. 2 gear sets lost. What the F was I doing? My heart was racing, my hands were shaking.
Knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already.
Right now I couldn't afford to lose more of my full kits to him. My LRs were gone. I tried to headshot him, but I missed. Just when I had shot, he had dodged down. I was low on HP, but at least I downed him. I tried to go for his body, but I completely forgot you can still shot doors when down. God damn it, I ruined my chance of getting one of my full kits back. Then Jump Out of Bed came and visited me. He had a friend with him, but they quickly flew away when I told them I was going to raid this guy, and they didn't want to be banned for teaming up, of course. This is a solo duo server, so if you're grouping up with more than 2, then it's a ban reason. We were never here, they screamed when they were flying away, and they wished me good luck. I went back to base and I had prepared for my raid, or at least pre-prepared, because I still didn't know how I would play this out. Nevertheless, I brought with me 2 small generators for turrets, some weapons for them, including M249s, so yeah, this would really be my best option at the time, I thought. Once I got back to my raid bases, I managed to set down 1 turret outside of my base. but having his base so close to mine, I couldn't build it the way I wanted it. I realized the worst thing now. I completely forgot to bring a wire, and I did not have any scrap here to make a quick level 1 workbench. Again, my rushing had failed me. When I was sneaking around his base again, I heard him opening doors, and we got into a quick fight, and he got me again. But wait. Now they were 2 online. He knew as soon as I said I wanted to raid him to the Swedish kids, he had brought on his teammate. AXKR was the name of his teammate, a name I also saw online yesterday. I spawned back at my main base, made some wires and stacked up on a semi-protected gear and a couple of MP5s. I was really in a hurry now, because if this duo worked fast enough together, they could easily raid my 2 raid bases. Jump Out of Bed texted me in chat if I had gears for sale. The whole texting part took also variable seconds out of my plan to get back there as fast as possible. Jump Out of Bed, he also wanted to know everything that was going on, but I couldn't tell him so much in chat. I was already in a fight with the duo again. And I also whiffed so hard. I downed one of them, I believe, and looking back at it, I could have played this so many ways. But I was just shaking so hard, afraid of losing all the boom I had brought with me, and also losing my M249. That would be a huge profit for them, and as you can see, I was really horrible PvPing with it. I didn't pay enough attention at my back. One of them were making noise inside while the other one was sneaking up from behind. They had killed me again. I came out again, naked this time, asked him if he was getting tired of this. He told me he had just started playing. Another lie from this guy. Go and raid Q20, he said. Okay, this guy, he wanted trouble, just as long as the trouble wasn't towards him. Come on, a duo versus a solo, he could definitely win this. I managed to sneak away to my 2x2 raid base, and I could hear them run into their base. Now was my chance to set up the turret with an M249 here, with plenty of ammo. Now at least this side was secure. Now on to the next one. Before that, I headshot one of them on the roof. I was super sad again that I forgot the ladders. There was a rocket launcher even on this guy's back. The only way for them to take down my turrets now would be with rockets. I rushed over against my other 1x2 raid base and saw that they had not even taken my dead body outside. My clothes were still on there, and my syringes, which I was starting to run low on, so this was a good timing. This time I just put an AK in my second turret, and I headshot the guy inside. This was really good for me. Now they couldn't even go to the roof anymore. My 2 turrets now felt like having 2 more players with me and defending for me. There were still 3 things that was a big issue though. That I didn't bring the ladders, and that I didn't have a 3rd raid base set up just in front of their heli garage. This was the only side that there was no turret covering. And then the most important thing at the moment, that I didn't have enough low grade in the generators to keep my turrets running. Very soon they would both either be out of ammo and fuel, and I had to come up with a plan. And then I remembered. Jump Out of Bed, he had asked me if I wanted to trade some gears, and I would need low grade desperately now. Unfortunately, I had to text with him and chat about it, so now my enemies knew that I was going back to my base. If they were quick, they could take out my turrets with rockets from inside or the side with the garage door. I sprinted home.
Run, Forrest, run!
And Jump Out of Bed was unfortunately AFK at the moment, so I had to get home, get scrap enough to buy a lot of low grade at the outpost, and then head back to the raid bases. This time I also remembered ladders and more syringes and more ammo. When I came to outpost, Jump Out of Bed met me there. Okay, I gave him the gears and in exchange he flew me back to their base. Anyway, on the way to their base, we heard rockets again. Okay, hurry, hurry! That was not a good sign. Time was everything now. They tried to kill me, but I got one of them, and they locked the garage door yet again. Then one of them came up to me, or at least I thought it was.
Oh, it's me,
Oh, Gio, sorry.
Oh.
Do you have meds?
Shit, that was close. It's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I have meds. I have 6 meds. Oh, they're
You see,
picking it.
yeah.
They're opened at least.
Ah, yeah. One more peek, please. Ah, they're closing.
Is there a ladder on the thing?
Yeah, but look, it's out. Oh. Ah, I was out of shots.
Shit.
Headshot, dead.
Oh, you got him.
And I have ladders too now.
Just drop.
I kept fighting against them, headshot one of them dead, but every time they closed down the garage door. Jump Out of Bed asked me if he should help me kill them, but I denied, since I was a solo and he was already in a duo group and we didn't want to break any of the rules, that's for sure. I got my turrets up and running again, repaired the little damage they had done, and then while they were talking weird stuff to me again, then I had the opportunity to place my ladders, with me speaking loudly back at them. What's the party? So they didn't even hear or see me putting up the ladders. I don't understand, what's the party? The dead bodies on the roof were gone, but what did I expect? I had been gone a long time now, and in a raid or whatever I was doing, being gone for just 5 minutes, that's everything. Anyway, they killed me, but little did it matter that my turrets were there to protect me. So, now it was just all about messing with this lying guy and his teammate. I went up to their roof and saw that he had looted his body, but in my luck, he couldn't reach the rocket launcher because of my turrets. I depoted the rocket launcher and went up on their roof again. And what I didn't think about at the moment was that they could see my shadow in front of the garage door, so now they knew for sure I was up there. I felt really comfortable now, and I felt powered up, not even worried if I would lose a gear set. This was just a nice feeling, so I tried to go for it. But they were standing in each other's corners, so I had died, but I got one. Like I mentioned in my previous video, my AK skills and yeah, PvP in general are horrible, but little doesn't matter if a solo player can outsmart a duo. But at this time I also thought enough was enough. I had been messing with these guys for over 1 hour now, and I also felt that I had been wasting enough time. Getting rid of these guys from this area would also clear my path against raiding Campfire, which was actually my main goal for today. I geared up a little bit and I had a ton of explosives on me, and I didn't even think of my HP was so low that it was. I started to make it look like I started a raid from one end of their base, but I had a small plan with this in all this confusion. You see, if I was standing outside of the ledge of their base with the garage door, they couldn't loot me because of the turret. so I just went for it and started to fire when I heard the garage door open. And there we go, there were my LR300s back. Thanks a lot. Again, if he had just been honest, I would have let him slip. I depoted their gear, took some C4s with me and started to raid. Hello guys! Wow, I wasted a long time. There was not much loot on the first floor, so I continued down. But I was too eager, so I died to a flame turret and a shotgun trap. Not to worry, I could still make it. I killed them again in the base. And kind of wasted C4s on traps, but again, I was so rich on boom, so it didn't matter much. I depoted again, a bit of the stuff, and I made it down to their main loot.
Come on, man.
There was not a whole lot of loot there, besides the stuff they got from me, so I just sealed the base up. And when I was doing that, Scorpion came back, and he was nice and chill about it, and his friend too. GG guys!
Yep, man.
Yeah.
GG, man.
I wanted to give you guys an online raid, at least, right?
Okay.
I hope that's appreciated, at least.
Yeah.
If you can't, you can not distract on the tier 3. Please.
Oh yeah, sure.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. I have it here. Now, I forgot my ladders, so I have to make a furnace just a sec to get them.
What are you talking about?
I was just saying that oh, watch out guys! The turrets are still on, right? He wanted the workbench level 3, and I gave it to him, along with syringes, since they were close to dead in the cold.
Hold.
However, being nice and friendly to them, they started to act like jerks.
I'm breathing my vagina.
His friend was still trying to get stuff out from the inside. And Scorpion, well, he even tried to take a gun and kill me. I told them just accept your defeat, guys, and run away, please. They didn't come back, but they were still online. I respect that even though they got raided and lost their stuff, they would try and make a comeback. I moved all the necessary stuff to my raid bases, took the turrets out and depoted. I was really getting tired at this point. I had been playing for many hours these days and I had only had a little sleep, and I also been to work. So it's safe to say I needed a break. I still wanted to give Campfire an online raid, but given the situation, it was not happening now, as he was not online, and I didn't know if he would come back at all. So I went offline and I planned on getting some sleep. I came into the server late in the evening and saw that Scorpion and AXKR had not tried to come back into their base and take it over. On Battle Matrix I could see that they had been playing for the entire day and evening, but for now it was only me and this guy, Knuti, who was online. He was also a fellow Dane, and he had been playing the whole day, it looked like. He had been online earlier today when I was raiding the duo, but I found it weird. What was he doing on the server this late into the wipe? We texted a bit what he was up to, and if he knew he was late into the wipe and there would be a forced full wipe in 2 days from now. He texted me back that he was just here for the blueprints, which didn't make any sense to me since there are full wipe every Tuesday and Friday. This player had even 4,000 hours in Rust, so you can imagine I was very confused. Maybe he just wanted to get the last pieces of the remaining bases on the server. Again, everyone plays the game differently, so I'm not judging. Had I not been this tired this weekend, mixed sleep schedule, working again and had the long fight with the duo, hell, I would have raided anyone left on the server. But then Knuti he later told me he was usually playing on a 10x server and that he didn't have much competition here. That sounded a bit weird. If he would just have read the server schedule before joining, he would not be so shocked that nobody was here. Anyway, I wanted to be a good guy to him, so I gave him my YouTube channel, so if he wanted, he could follow it. After he saw just a bit, he responded and said that I needed a new microphone. And I can also agree, I'm just speaking into a headset, the Lenovo gaming headset. Hopefully, if people show interest in my videos, I will continue to make videos and even buy a pro setup. I never claimed to be a Rust YouTuber or anything, I'm just making these videos for you guys so you can hopefully see how you can progress faster. And like I said before, you don't have to play the game like I do, everyone finds their own way and all make mistakes, mostly of all, myself. But then I just made a quick recycle run and I went back to my base. And then I wanted to head offline for this Sunday night. I also assumed at this point that the action would have been cooled down a lot, since it was late Sunday night and people usually go to school or work the day after. I would definitely come back online some point tomorrow, so I could use a lot of my boom and see what people had in their remaining bases. So that ends up this Sunday night. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, it helps out the channel a lot, and you can be part of it as well. I went online this Monday morning and I saw that only a few people were online now. Today my plan was simple, just to use my last boom and hopefully online raid Campfire, if he would be online. I took and made a lot of boom with me. I didn't care if I was attacked now, I felt I had showed everything I wanted in this video. Anyway, I went out, found some bases that were actually offline or online raided. I had checked during the night that Scorpion, AXKR and this guy Knuti had been the only ones online since last night. I saw on Battle Matrix that Knuti has even played 11 hours straight, and as I was flying around the map I found AXKR and Scorpion's new base, and it looked like they had been raided, probably by this guy Knuti. I saw that a lot of stuff had been left behind, so that was a sign that Knuti was already filthy rich. He also should be, given that he had 4,000 hours and had played for 11 hours straight since yesterday night. Wow. Anyway, I found Pigeon Dog's base. He was one of the fellow Swedish kids. He was always on his own and always kept away from other battles. I raided into his base, but walled it off again, and I let him keep his base if he wanted to come back. And then I went to Q20, that big chunker of a metal base out in the south. I raided into this one as well, not a whole lot in there, but then I remembered it had to be Sylvian's base. I remembered because looking back at my recordings, he was the only one online at that point, along with the Swedish guys and me. That was all the way back from the day 2 when I took cargo. It didn't look like he had been online ever since I killed him in airfield. Well, you have to be aware of enemies at all times, buddy. I decided I didn't want to take his stuff or continue to raid his base further. This must have been his main loot anyway. My end of this wipe was also gonna come to an end soon. I went up to see how my friends Jump Out of Bed and Nipnap was doing, the Swedish kids on the top of this hill. I felt really bad about offline raiding them since he was actually my best alliance on this server, Jump Out of Bed, and he had made things really interesting. But then AXKR came up to me naked. I asked him what he has been doing since yesterday, but he was just telling me nonsense. He was actually just standing there looking at me for 20 seconds. Okay, hello? To hell with him. Back to the raids. I just wanted to see what Jump Out of Bed had in his base since it was so small. I couldn't imagine him having much. But actually he had a lot. And the base next to it, Nipnap's base, it only had a TC in it, so not worth raiding. Next up, it was Dada's base. But when I got there, it looked like it had already been raided. There was no locks on the door and on a ladder hatch, so what I could see from this, it looked like a loot room, but an empty loot room. Looking back, I also remembered that he told me he was gonna build a bigger base and a better base somewhere else, but I had not seen anything around the map when I was flying around, and Knuti's base was somewhere not to be found. Next up, it was Campfire's base, the biggest base on the server compared to mine. As I was flying over it, I saw that it had been MLI's rocket, it looked like. I found it weird that even though the wooden walls were missing, that the raiders didn't even have taken the liberty to finish the raid. That must have been some lazy raiders, but I could only guess that it had been either Knuti or Scorpion and AXKR. Since I was already there, I decided to finish the raiding in there, just to see what Campfire had. The loot looked actually pretty decent, consider his base size. He had not been so much online Saturday night or during Sunday morning and afternoon, so I expected someone to raid his base eventually, but I was sad that I couldn't give him the online raid. Oh well, I left there without taking anything really. I continued my raid journey all over the map and saw that someone's base had been on an island west on the map in D12. I could only think that this was the main base of Knuti. I had not seen the Garrett's door skin from any other players on the map, so my best guess would be that it was him. However, this base was also semi-raided and maybe even with MLRS rockets. The TC was stacked though when I got in there, but the boxes were something disappointing. I decided to leave it be as well. Maybe the owner would come back and build his base a bit better this time. I took a little break from playing. The guys told me in Steam chat that Campfire would be online this afternoon if I still wanted to give him an online raid. But little did him and Maynam know that their base has kind of already been raided, so I went offline for some hours. I went online again and was greeted by Dada in water treatment. Since he had not been online either for a long time or flying around, he didn't know what had been happening really for the last day or so. Maynard was online and he lived with Campfire in his base, and I went there and told him what had happened, and Dada as well. I even told them about my small raids and where I made them. They told me they planned on fighting each other, the Swedish guys, late on the afternoon, around 16 or 17 PM, and they asked me if I would come and make a video of it. I actually told them now that this video would come to an end, also because with everything that has been going on, the video would be way too long. But since I was going offline soon, I would like to do something nice for them. Since I had rated Jump Out of Bed and that he didn't really have a good fighting base, I would like to give him my base. I told Dada that he could have mine until, and if he could share it with Jump Out of Bed, that seemed mostly fair, I think. And as far as my loot goes, I told Mainom that he could just have it. So to my base we went, and I started to unlock every lock. And there I also found out that on top of my base, the wind turbines had been damaged, most likely by a few MLRS rockets. Good thing I had set up my SAM sites up here. They were the reason I was not offline rated. Another thing I was really shocked about was Dada, the guy who had the compound in M14. He lived so close to me, and he had not even seen my base. Hell, he didn't even know I was living here. That was not even the most shocking part. It was that even though I told him about all the bases around the area, and that they had been raided and not raided, and he had not even gone out to the bases I raided earlier, which I told him there was plenty of loot in, and they were open. I know he did not have a heli, but you don't have to have a heli just to open your eyes. Wow, I was shocked. Then they both told me that they would prefer a smaller map for the next time to give more PvP. I told them that even with a smaller map they would still have to look around the map and open their eyes. Hopefully they will know better for the next wipe. Keep your eyes open, guys, and pay attention. Especially when you live in an area with bases all around you. Shocking to see a player being online for 4 days, playing so many hours, and not even spotted one base around him. Shocking. So here we have the end of it all. It had been 4 days of Rust play, and I was super happy with all that had happened. Meeting old friends again, getting into fights, making new enemies, and I had raids and offline raids. This wipe had just everything. And as I promised the Swedish guys, I would contact the admin and with him decide on a smaller map for the next map wipe on February 22nd on 17 PM. See if a smaller map would give more PvP, or if people would be sad that there won't be a bandit camp and a launch site. Spoiler alert, once I was making this video, I actually went in and asked the people who had already joined the new server. There were mixed feelings about it, as I could also predict. So from the next wipe at Friday the 25th of February, we'll be back playing on a regular 3500 size map. It's not too big and it's not too small, and I'm happy to announce that already more than 20 people have been playing from the first hour. And bear in mind, this is a school night, and the server had just gone from 2-3 regular players last week to 10-15 this wipe, and now more than 20. Hopefully Friday will be packed up with new players. Come in and say hi, and please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, it will mean the world to me. With that said, thank you so much for watching the video, guys. See you in the next video. Peace.